All right, everyone, this is Tim's New York Giants Trade Talk, brought to you by the Mighty FanDuel. It's FanDuel.com, the number one sports book in America. I saw the first comment right out of my eye was the fact that, wow, from Big Michael, I'm finally going to catch a live stream when it's actually live. Yeah. It's like, is that really a live stream? You don't catch if it's actually live. It's a non-live stream. Oh, we need to talk about the Giants training camp today. We got to talk about things that are going on in the Greenbrier. We got to talk about everything. We got to talk about an injury potentially to Cameron Scottaboo. We also talk about the JMS getting his bell rung. It looks like JMS is he got a little dinged up today. And potentially they're saying he could go into concussion protocol. So it looks like the Giants are going to sign a center. You would think that Evan Neal would say, you know what? I could snap that motherfucking ball. It doesn't look that difficult because it's more difficult evidently to play guard after I couldn't play tackle. After I'm soon going to be called left out and playing in the Home Depot squad. Oh, but it's starting. We're starting to run into the dog days of training camp. You finally reached that precipice with the New York Football Giants where we're finally laying down the law a little bit. We're finally getting a little bit of we're getting a little bit into the weeds a little bit. We're hitting a little bit harder. People are getting a little bit more banged up, a little bit more dinged up. And that's just that's literally just what's going to happen when you get into training camp and you run 10 practices in 11 days. Giants are wrapping up training camp mañana. So it looks like they're going to have a practice and then they're going to get back on the bus and go home to East Rutherford. They have to be excited. Not that West Virginia is not this wonderful place that everyone wants to go to. I didn't want to go to it. I actually went to Miami instead. Just throwing that out there. But because of the fact that, really, what information have we gained in regards to being in West Virginia? Really nothing. I mean, we know the hardball's a hard ass. We know he's going to run grueling practices. He talked briefly about the fact today that when he was mentioning preseason, that he's potentially, because Harbaugh is not a guy that shies away from playing his starters in preseason. He's not a guy that shies away from them, not whatsoever. So he's already kind of alluding to the fact that he even said these are young guys. These are guys that are going to probably need some reps. And there's nothing better than to go through in reference to preseason. You have to have a sigh of relief for certain Giant fans, I guess, because of the fact that Jackson Dart was 16 of 19, including 12 straight completions across 3 different periods at one point. Well, like I said, JMS gets banged up. He left the practice early. Cam Scottaboo limped off the field when Arvell Reese knocked him to the ground twice on consecutive runs, and then watch the rest of the practice from the sidelines. This is going to happen because, like I said, for all the enthusiasm that people have in reference to Jackson Dart, I should rephrase that, to Cameron Scottaboo coming in and doing what he needs to do. He's still coming back from an injury. He's still coming back from a significant injury. So, again, like I said, we need to take it with a grain of salt. We need to take it with a little bit of trepidation. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Let's see. Mike Lee says early predictions. Who will have a better season, Aaron Donald or Dexter Lawrence? I wouldn't even go Dexter Lawrence. I think Aaron Donald, man. Aaron Donald. You looked at him; he's a freak of nature. So we got to kind of wait and see. Joe Spano says this is a pleasant surprise. A Friday Night Live. Now hit that like button and be sure to check out the Mighty FanDuel and the ZipRecruiter at ZipRecruiter.com, number one sportsbook in America. Gary Reasons will be on Sunday. I'm not sure who posted it, but I thought it was interesting. Though someone posted in the chat. With Gary Reasons coming on, what is Tim gonna do? And I was thinking to myself, what we need to do? We need to just get Sean Salisbury on and Gary Reasons on at the same time. Because then I won't have to do anything. I could literally sit there for 2.5 hours, have some coffee, have my breakfast, do a little work here and there. I mean, it would be fantastic. It'll be great. But I don't see that. I don't see that.
Periods. They had 5 periods at the first.
Oh, I got so many things going on here. It's got too many things popping up here. What's wrong with my internet? Why is the internet all screwed up? Are we still there, Bueller? 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 No, we just had ourselves a little bit of a lightning strike. I heard the crack of thunder, and it was like lightning. The way you love me is frightening. But I just literally heard some thunder and lightning. Then the lights flickered on by themselves. So I don't know exactly what's going on right now. I'm waiting to see what happens one more time. But my internet looks like it keeps bouncing here. Looks like we're bouncing. Come on, bounce with me. Can I hit it in the morning? I gotta see. We're having a little bit. Are we back? Bueller? Oh, are we back? Can't see if we're back or not. We keep having some we're having some technical difficulties here, but hopefully that cleared it up a little bit. I'm gonna try to. Okay, I think we're back. Guess who's back? Back again. Shady's back. But like I said, we're having the injury issues right now as well. So that's gonna kind of come off interesting. Some thumbs. Yeah, give us some thumbs up, baby. All right, I think we're back again. I don't know what's going on with the internet totally, but my bad. Text forgot you were on the air. That's all right. That's all good. Stand by. We're having some technical. Nice haunted stream. That was a quick one.
That's what she said.
So glad you can. Joe Harbs will definitely have the Giants ready for the start of the season. Hopefully, it equals early wins. If not, it won't be because they're not ready to play. Yeah, I mean that's the way you got to look at this. This team has got to get themselves ready. This team's got to get themselves in shape. It's time to have a prolonged training camp, which will allow these guys to do the things that they need to do to be successful for the 2026-2027 seasons. And the thing is this, you're going to have these little injuries. You're going to have these little bugaboos. You're going to have these little setbacks. You just have to hope, like I said, that they recover quickly from whatever issues that they're having. And if we take a look at this, like I said, one of the things is the fact that Jackson Dart did complete 19 of 16 passes, including 12 straight. He evidently, let's see, the offense couldn't run the ball, but Dart got the ball out quickly against the blitz and when even passing. Even though he was sacked a few times, he completed 7 of 8 in the final drive, mostly on the number ones on the defense, and finished his drive with a touchdown pass to Darius Slayton in the corner of the end zone. Evidently, the Malik Neighbors report is they looked very good today, running routes and individual drills. I love it, the fact that Jason Pinnock replaced Tyler Nubin mostly as the first teams. Nubin has been with the twos and rotated to the ones that listen, I've already said this before. If Jason Pinnock took over for Tyler Nubin by week 1, I literally would not be shocked. I would not be shocked. I would not be surprised. I would not be befuddled. I would look at this from an instance of the fact that Jason Pinnock, when he was here, was a solid enough starter. Nothing spectacular. Nothing that you take a look at. I'm back again. Nothing that you looked at and saw that you kind of were like, well, you know, he's got this play. He's got this. What's going on? It's all right though. Like I said, he's gonna be. I mean, Tyler Nubin to me is just fucking Tyler Nubin. I mean, if we're literally gonna be honest about it, he's just Tyler Nubin. And it's one of those situations and one of those scenarios that you kind of just look at it and say, what the hell's going on here? Oh, shit. All right. Yes, the internet. I think are we back again? Guess who's back? Back again. Shady. Are we back again finally? Because this is the internet. All right. I think the internet's back. I think we're finally back. We've switched over to the other internet. So we should be good now. Joe Spano was right. The lightning strikes are messing with your internet. It appears you get for about 10 seconds, then you freeze. Let's see. Your slider says, do you believe that Beckham can be the number 2 wide receiver? I think tennis short dudes posted that. I'm like, no way. Listen, Odell Beckham, they said, is playing well. But the issue is there's a lot of other wide receivers right now that are in camp that are playing well. Jalen Hyatt's not one of them. You got a rookie, you got a couple rookies, you got some guys that are looking good. They're even saying Darius Slayton's is looking good right now. So if that's the case, you have to take everything with a grain of salt and kind of just say, you know what, OBJ, if he can give you anything, he's not going to be a one. I'm going to say this. If Malik Neighbors does not play week 1, and I'm still hearing he's not playing until week 3. I'm still hearing the same things. If Malik Neighbors does not play week 1, OBJ could potentially be your 3rd or 4th wide receiver. Plain and simple. Because you're still going to have Darius Slayton. You are still going to have Malachi Fields, who evidently Malachi Fields at times has been tearing it up. You're going to still have Darnell Mooney. Juju actually looked good, they said the other day, catching a couple touchdowns in the back of the end zone. So if you take a look at it from that perspective, you can see this and say, you know what? There's a lot of stuff that's going on right now that is going to make it more difficult for him to all of a sudden come back and be, I'm not saying he's not going to be a contributor, but you take a look at this and there is potential that OBJ can be the 3rd or 4th wide receiver if our wonderful Malik Neighbors, who we hope will start the season, but evidently, like I said, he really hasn't been running into any type of contact drills or anything. But if he has that capability to be that guy, we got to go from there. But like I said, I can see this guy coming and being the 3rd and 4th wide receiver, not even a problem. Slider said Tyler Newman has to sit back and learn about the angles before he forgets them in geometry class. Yeah, that's probably true. Michael Lee says, has Hyatt ever been one of those plays? Well, I haven't heard anything really. I mean, you hear some things that Jalen Hyatt is fully taking advantage of the situation because you do have a crowded wide receiver room. But listen, I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this over and over again about OBJ. I hope he makes the team. I just for nostalgia purposes for like the first week or 2 of the season, because it's always fun. Nostalgia is always fun, just not for an extended period of time, and usually doesn't get you any wins. But I like to see what he has in the tank. I would like to see him end his prolific giant career on a high note and not the way that we have said it before, the way he kind of drove himself out of New York. Zach Attack. What's up, Zach Attack? I just realized Beckham being back has brought the Miami curse back. No, because I am going to live in Miami. Let me tell you about this, Zach. I am making the ultimate sacrifice. With OBJ back, some people have talked about the boat curse coming back with him. But I figured this. If I move to Miami, the boat curse will be lifted because there will be a giant fan in Miami, so there will be no more boat curse. I am making that ultimate sacrifice for the New York Football Giants just because the type of fan I am. Funny you mentioned 4 wide receivers before OBJ. How can he be number 3 or 4? Because if Malik Neighbors is not ready to go, yeah, he's probably going to be 3 or 4. I mean, think about this for a second. Slayton's got a spot. Malachi Fields has got a spot. Neighbors, if he's healthy, he's got a spot. Calvin Austin's got a spot. That's already 4. Darnell Mooney, in my mind, of course, because of his connection with the offensive coordinator, is going to be 5. So there's your 5 right there. And you're battling now. Like I said, Isaiah Hodgkins, we haven't even heard anything from him. But what's his name? That guy, the crab guy. I can't think of his name right now. He's evidently been lighting it up. but you're not hearing anything from Jalen Hyatt, not really hearing everything. I mean, you hear a couple things about Beckham. You hear about a few times that he's running with the ones, but you sit there and you kind of look at this and you're like, oh, okay, it is what it is. But if you look at it, like I said, Neighbors is 1, Slayton 2, Calvin Austin 3, Malachi Fields 4, Darnell Mooney 5. And if you bring in a 6th wide receiver, he's not going to be a guy he's going to have to be a guy that's going to have to play special teams. He's going to have to be a guy that returns punts. He's going to have to be a guy that's going to be on coverage. OBJ is not doing that. OBJ is not going to have the sustainability to do that. But if Malik Neighbors is not going to be ready till week 3, as I keep hearing, OBJ in my mind makes the team and is potentially the 3rd or the 4th guy. Slider says, if Neighbors, it's Neighbors, not Neighbors. Don't you be my neighbors. Did you get auto correct? Who are we talking about? Miami Beach. Oh, first of all, we're going to Miami Beach. Technically, we're going North Miami. Technically, we're going Aventura. It's still 11 miles away from South Beach. So, let's see here. Has dart mechanics improved during camp? Well, I'm glad you've asked that, because we have a coach that actually spoke about this, and maybe this will calm down the Giant fan base when we have. Oh, wait, where is it? Right here. Let's see here. Here we go. Right now, let's listen. Let's listen to this coach, as a Giant coach, talking about rhythm, talking about passing, talking about footwork.
I think everything is there's a timing and footwork element to everything in the passing game. If your feet are in rhythm with what the play design is, whether it's a 5-step or a 7-step or a play action, whatever that timing is for the routes and the route depth with the footwork is, I think, really, really important. Along with that is where your eyes are, and that eye discipline, and where.
See, we don't talk about eye discipline much. We don't. But I'm sorry. I just want to play this. I'm going to keep playing this because this is Callahan.
You're supposed to look, and what you're looking at and why you're looking at it also helps that decision-making process and that timing and that tempo that you want to play with, the rhythm in the passing game. So the footwork is always where it's going to start. And everybody has their own unique rhythm to their footwork. Not every quarterback is the same, and so you work within those things, and then you marry that up as best you can to how the concepts work. So I think for him, it's really been an eye discipline and footwork consistency have been the two things that we focus a lot on. And I think
we have been talking about this since the combine with Jackson Dart. Now, like I said, we have all the giant content creators out there that are finally coming. They're a little slow. They're coming around the bend, and now they're all panicking.
Won't somebody please think of the children?
They're all panicking because they're like, oh my God, we're gonna have to fix all this shit with Jackson Dart. Yeah, 100%. You ran the majority of the plays last year that were Ole Miss plays. You didn't teach this kid to play on the center. You didn't teach him eye discipline. You didn't teach him footwork. You basically threw this kid out to the wolves and said, listen, be exciting, save my job. And then when it didn't save Kafka's or Brian Dable's job, all of a sudden it was like, well, now we got to make this kid an NFL quarterback. Yeah, this is what we've always had to do. And he needs to learn. We've talked about his footwork since the combine. We've talked about it during his pro day. Hell, we talked about it during training camp. He can't be the hop stepper. He can't. He does that little hop skip when he tries to throw over the line. It's like, what the fuck, dude? No. Proper footwork. Plant your feet. We've had like I said, we had Sean Salisbury came in here and literally broke it down. How proper footwork increases his velocity, increases his accuracy, and will increase your ball placement. Yeah. And he's learning this. Jackson Dart is learning this. So I've said this before. The first few weeks of the season, you might see a regression with Jackson Dart. And it's okay. Because of the fact that I know you have some idiots on Twitter that are like, well, we have to win this year. The window is closing. Well, you should have thought about that a few years ago when you kept fucking Joe Shane and kept drafting stinkers. Because potentially next year, Joe Shane's entire first 2 drafts may not be on the roster whatsoever. We've gone through this. You had 5 and 7.
Some people say I'm Jesus.
You screwed up 5 and 7. You had building block drafts that you didn't hit on. You are potentially, with Joe Shane, looking at 2 drafts. Think of it this way. His first draft, Darren Beavers is gone. McKeithen is going to be gone. DJ Davidson is gone. Micah McFadden's still here, but probably won't be for long. Dane Belton's gone. Daniel Bellinger gone. Cordell Flott gone. Joshua Zudo gone. Wanda Robinson gone. Evan Neal looks like he's a goner. And Kayvon Thibodeau probably won't be here next year. So your 22 draft will consist of McFadden. Nice kid, but 12.9% missed tackle percentage. You go to the 23 draft. It gets worse. Owens gone. Riley gone. Hawkins gone. Eric Gray will be gone. Jalen Hyatt gone. More likely JMS is going to be gone. And if Deonte Banks doesn't figure out he's going to be gone next year, that's your entire 23 class. So you whiffed on your first 2 classes. And if you get into the next class, 24, Darius Muasau, not a starting linebacker, good backup player, but I don't think he's going to be around. Tyrone Tracy, above average back. Theo Johnson, knucklehead. Drew Phillips, if he doesn't figure out he's going to be gone. Tyler Newman, he's probably going to be gone. And Malik Neighbors, hopefully he's going to get healthy so he can stay around here so we don't lose on a free agency. So if we take a look at this from the draft perspective, like I said, coaching can take you so far. But if you look at it from a draft perspective, you wasted so many picks, you wasted so much talent. Truth be told, Mr. Warfield, last season Jalen Hyatt didn't want to be there. I see no effort. I feel bad for the kid, because if you break down his Tennessee career, it was really 3 games that propelled him. And I actually like Jalen Hyatt. I thought Jalen Hyatt could be a Devontae Smith. I thought Jalen Hyatt could use his speed and quickness to get off the line, not get jammed, do what he needed to do to get past the bigger defenders and not be Devontae Smith, but be Devontae Smith-like. But he just takes so much time getting off the ball. He takes so much time getting into his fucking routes that by the time he gets off the ball and into his routes, the play has been over for 37 minutes. What do we got here? Don't wide receivers play special teams too? OBJ can't do that. Well, he can return punts, but I doubt he's going to want to return punts. But he can return punts. But if you are the 4th, 5th, or 6th guy as a wide receiver, especially if you're the 5th or 6th guy, if you carry 6 wide receivers, you have to play special teams. You got to return punts. You got to be on punt coverage. It's just a Herculean tax. Mike Lee says, heck no. Number 5 wide receiver still needs to play special teams, let alone. Oh, I agree. Number 4 wide receiver, number 5 receivers, usually if you only carry 5 wide receivers, 4 and 5 have to be special teamers. 4 usually is going to be a guy that's going to return your kicks. 5 is usually a young guy that can play special teams, return kicks, and give you something. When is the OBB family making the move? Hopefully before September. Hopefully by September, if not a little bit after. We just had a condo walkthrough today, so I was very excited about that. Let's see here. I find it interesting that Paulson Adebo lost his first team snaps today to Deonte Banks. Adebo missed a lot of early OTAs and got into his Harbors doghouse. Couple that with a poor camp, he might lose his job. The only thing I worry about Banks, I am Eli Rex. One only thing that I really worry about Banks is, from the reports that I'm hearing, yes, and I heard he was running with the second team, the pass that Jackson Dart threw in the end zone to end that long drive again to Darius Slayton was over Deonte Banks. The issue seems to be this still, that the kid's not turning his fucking head. Listen, as a former safety, as a former corner, I can tell you, they drill this into your brain. Look back at the ball. You're always supposed to be looking back at the ball. Plain and simple. They keep it simple. They tell you, look back at the ball. Make sure, because if you're not playing the ball and you're playing the man, if you bump into the man, it's an automatic flag. It's automatic pass interference. You already got, you either got a pass interference or you got a holding call, or illegal contact. So it looks like he's still having that same issue. But if you're Paulson Adebo and you got replaced on the first team by Deonte Banks, that doesn't bode well for you. And evidently, Colton Hood, some people already have Colton Hood pushed in as the number 1. This is CB1. Listen, I keep saying this over and over again. There are 2 positions that are scaring the bejesus out of me. That's running back and corner and safety. We'll just say the defensive backfield. Drew Phillips is banged up. You're backing him up with the Darius Washington and Nick Jones. I would rather have Nick Jonas in that nickelback. Greg Newsome evidently has looked horrid at times, which I'm not shocked. Holland has not, the scary report is Holland has not looked any better. That does not bode well. And like I said, Tyler Newman's Tyler Newman. I wouldn't be surprised if he got replaced by Jason Pinnock. But you got to remember this. You know who's behind Deonte Banks? Corey Black. Tracy Ford. I mean, I'm not Tracy Ford, but Corey Black. I'm sorry. Corey Black is behind him. And then you have DJ James and David Long Jr., Art Green, and Nick Jonas. I know it's not Nick Jonas, but like I said, I would rather have one of the Jonas brothers playing back there. It's early. I'm not going to hit the panic button, but I'm just going to say that the Giants' running game is going to be tested often and early. And so is the passing game. Dallas, we've said it before. If Dallas ran a 4 wide receiver set more than half the game, I wouldn't be shocked.
Tower, this is Ghost Rider requesting a flyby.
Negative, Ghost Rider. The pattern is full.
I could see the pattern be full, but we have to wait and see. The bank is closed. Banks is closed. Sliders said, with the struggles of Paulson Adebo, do you think? No, you can't cut him. We owe him way too much fucking money. You can cut him next year. You can't cut him this year. We owe way too much money to Paulson Adebo right now. But you can cut him next year. Sliders says they need to stop bitching those content creators. Tim and I got perfect medicine for those to give them all, and it's just perfect. Yeah, I do like what you have. You talked about his footwork, the hip stepping, the javelin. We have literally been talking about this. We've been talking about the javelin throw. Now, like I said, the moment I watched him, there were 2 quarterbacks that I was so unimpressed with at times in two separate years that I was so unimpressed with on their deep passes at the combine, which doesn't mean anything because it's a fucking combine. It was J.J. McCarthy one year, and it was Jackson Dart the next year. And I just find it weird that everything that we have been saying about Jackson Dart since that combine, Callahan's saying it, Nagy's saying it, and so is Greg Roman. They're all saying the same thing. He's got to work on his footwork. He's got to work on his consistency. We've shown the video a million times with that fucking toe nearly pointing all the way out the diagonal the other direction. He at times Jackson Dart, which is the reason why his deep passes have looked so putrid at times. At times, when you watch him, it's kind of like, okay, I'm not changing the 3/4. I'm not changing the 3/4 throw. I'm not changing that. I'm not fucking with his throwing motion. But if I can get his footwork solid, if I can teach him to do a 3-step drop, set up quick, have proper footwork and proper technique, while you have eye discipline downfield, like they've talked about previously, you can make him more accurate, especially on the deeper passes. But the problem is this: he's going to have to not rely on his wheels as much, and he has to kind of sit there and say, you know what? I gotta trust my offensive line. My offensive line, when it comes to pass blocking, pretty good. Pretty good. Jermaine Illuminor, better pass blocker than he is a run blocker. John Runyon, same thing. Andrew Thomas, all world. Big Francis, we were hoping a lot for a rookie. And JMS is still that undersized center, but they're still good enough at the pass blocking that he has to trust the line in front of him. And like I said, if you go with the 3-step drop, set up quick, get the ball out, I think you're going to find some consistency with Jackson Dart. That's why I'm not worried. Zach says, I feel OBJ would be a safety valve for Dart. not get big plays, but get positive plays. I think Isaiah Likely is the safety net. And as weird as this is going to sound, because I'm not a fan, I think Theo Johnson's the safety net. Isaiah Likely, to me, is going to have such an immediate impact on this team that I think people don't. I mean, if you go back, he like I said, he was stuck behind Mark Andrews. So if you go back and you look at it and you see it and you're kind of like, okay, well, he was stuck behind this guy. What can we do? But he had this talent, and his talent was extremely prevalent. That's why we gave him the big money to come here in Isaiah Likely. So if anything, I'm going to use Isaiah Likely as my check down guy. And this is the other thing that I think OBJ needs to be concerned about, even be the fourth or fifth guy. Isaiah Likely, to me, he's not a full tight end. He's more of the H-back. He's more of the Evan Ingram type, only hopefully with more talent and better hands. Even though Evan Ingram decided to, he left here in his second year in Jacksonville, had the second most receptions ever in NFL history in a single season by a tight end. He was off. I think he was off by one. He was off by two from breaking the record, one for tying the record. He was off by 2 receptions. So I think Isaiah Likely is going to be that safety valve. He's going to be that safety net. What Zach Tag says, you talk about it all the time. Yeah, I try to. I am Eli. Eli, is this really Eli? No panic, but I knew he had opportunities. He still looked sloppy and uncomfortable with his footwork in camp, in my opinion, but don't panic. Is this the real Eli? Is this the real Eli Rax? Or is this the fake one? And like I said, I'm not telling anyone to worry whatsoever about Jackson Dart because of the fact that he's got to learn. He's got to learn to be, I never liked Daniel Jones. I never liked his game. But Pat Shurmur, who was kind of in the Brian Dable situation, trying to win games to save his fucking job, did a total disservice to Daniel Jones. And I understand why he did it, because you got a rookie quarterback from Duke that you're trying to save your fucking job next year. He told Daniel Jones this, and this was, you could see this, and this is why he was so up and down that rookie season. I'm going to cut the field in half. I'm going to give you one spot to throw to. Your second option is to run. That can work for a period of time, but it's not going to work forever. And when you're doing that, you are doing that to win games, not cultivate an NFL quarterback who is going to win you a championship 3 years down the road, or hopefully 3 years down the road. Jackson Dart was kind of the same way. They asked him, Jackson Dart, what plays do you like to run? And Jackson Dart was like, well, here are the plays I'm comfortable with from Ole Miss. Okay, great. We've said this before. Lane Kiffin's offense, very simplistic. There is no audibles. There's no snap count. There's no cadence. You go off claps. You are basically given half the field. You are given 1 or 2 options, and the second option is to run. When your best quarterback to come into the pros that you have cultivated as a head coach or an offensive coordinator in college is Matt Barkley, we got some problems. Jackson Dart has talent. Jackson Dart has ability. Jackson Dart, Daniel Jones, we've said it a million times before, was like a NBA point guard who could not create his own shot. Jackson Dart's totally different. Jackson Dart can't create his own shot. The problem is sometimes he relies on that too much. Sometimes as a point guard, you got to kick it out. You got to kick it out into the hole, kick it down into the hole, or kick it out to the 3. Because of the fact that you can't do it all on your own. That's when we get to the phrase hero ball. And the problem with Jackson Dart is, and it was this way at Ole Miss at times too, especially during that Florida game. If you take a look at the way he plays at times, he doesn't play within control. And like I said, we've shown the charts here a million times. -2 yards behind the line of scrimmage to 10 yards out. The dude's fucking deadly. I mean, the guy, like I said, we'll do it. We'll do it again, because this is what we do. That thing you do. You take a look at it and you go line of scrimmage, -2 yards. behind -2, -3 yards. Then you go out to the 10 yards. He only has 2 white dots, which are incompletions. You go over 10 yards. What happens? It is the inconsistency with his footwork and his ball placement that causes his passes to go errant over 15 yards. You're like, well, Tim, that doesn't mean it doesn't. No, Tim, that can't be true. Here we go again. You take a look in that green zone, which is 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage and 10 yards out. There's only technically 2 missed passes. You go over 10, he's only completed 3 passes. Even games where he is very, like I said, where he's really chucking the rock. Again, -2 to 10, that 12 to 13 yard window. You go over 10, he's got 2 completions. I mean, you take, like I said, this was the Raiders game. This was his big game. The red is an interception. Again, I only see 3 completions within that window. And like I said, it is the consistency of his footwork or the inconsistency of his footwork that leads him. Like I said, he is like Joe Montana, Steve Young, Patrick Mahomes, all wrapped up into one when it's -3 to 10 yards out. He completes like 78, 80% of his passes. But when you're doing that, you don't really need proper footwork. You could just throw with your arm. But when you're trying to get the ball out with velocity, when you're trying to get the ball to the wide receiver in regards to ball placement, where only the wide receiver has that option to get the ball and put him in a position where you put the ball placement where you're protecting the wide receiver, Jackson Dart needs a lot of work, and that all falls into the footwork. He's got to go that extra mile. He's got to go and he's going to do it. Jackson Dart, to me, is going to do it. He's going to take that extra step. He's going to do all the things. He's already working after practice. He's already staying back with the wide receivers. That's just what he's doing. He's showing this. He's showing he's going the extra mile. It makes that positive impact, a positive impression. And it may not seem like much, but when someone goes that extra step and makes that positive impression, if you're hiring, great candidates also can go those extra step and tell you why they're interested in your job at ZipRecruiter as a way to stand out from the others. And right now you can try it for free. ZipRecruiter.com/audio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/audio. And ZipRecruiter has a new feature that shows you the most interested qualified candidates first, so you meet the right people faster. ZipRecruiter's powerful matchmaking technology finds qualified candidates quickly. No wonder ZipRecruiter is the #1 rated hiring site based on G2. So try ZipRecruiter. Meet your great candidates who will go that extra step for your job. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a qualified candidate within the first day. Try it for free today at ZipRecruiter.com/audio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/audio. ZipRecruiter, meet your match on ZipRecruiter. And I don't want to go out to ZipRecruiter to find another quarterback. Wyatt says, here comes the hop stepper. Still love me like that. Oh, my God. Here comes the hop stepper. I'm the lyrical gangster. Still love me like that. One good thing about Jackson Dart, he is coachable. But is Eli, is that you? Is that you, Eli, or is that someone pretending to be Eli? You haven't told me, oh, it's Greg's birthday. It's my party, and I'll rhyme if I want to. Greg, it's your birthday. Greg, all the way from Sweden. Greg, here, Greg, you got to come on for a minute. You got to come on for a minute because it's your birthday. And I don't care. You're coming on, Greg. And Eli, if that's really you need to come on too. And we could pretend it's your birthday. Here you go, Greg. Eli and Greg, I put the link in the chat. I put the needle on the record. I see the philosopher in there as well. Edwin Joseph says the defining javelin throw was the defining javelin throw was the throw against the Broncos on the flea flicker. So cringy to watch. Listen, Jackson Dart is not a perfect quarterback. Jackson Dart, in my opinion, should not have been taken in the first round. Jackson Dart, you probably could have got later in the second round. I don't think Denver was going to snap him up. I don't think any other team was going to snap him up before we could have got him early in the first or second round. Does Jackson Dart have ability? Yes. Jackson Dart has a lot of ability. Does Jackson Dart have potential? Yes. Can Jackson Dart be coached? From what I'm seeing right now, the answer to that is simple. Yes. He has that weird, we're going to call it that weird word, coachability. He's got that. He has that, and we can coach this kid up. But the question is going to be this: are the Giant fans going to allow him the opportunity to be coached up? Are Giant fans going to be patient enough with Jackson Dart that they are going to allow him to go through some of the growing pains that he really didn't go through year one, because of the fact that those year one growing pains were kind of hidden in the playbook of Ole Miss. So people are just going to have to be patient. But Tim, you can't screw up the 5 and 7.
Warning, sarcasm, warning.
Let's see here. Mr. Warfield says, well, Jackson Dart wanted another drive where Harbaugh wanted. This was a good part. He wanted another drive, and this is the long play we were talking about. Dart scored a touchdown pass to Slayton despite the offense struggles. Yeah, you went 10 for, you went like 10, 11, 10 for 12 or something. The drive you're talking about was like a 13-play drive, and Harbaugh wanted to stop. And this is the play to Slayton that went over Deontay Banks. Wanted him to stop. He wanted him to stop the drive. Jackson Dart said no. Jackson Dart called a timeout. And then he came back and he threw the touchdown. Soaring Wings says, what's a big trend? Dart will be much better than Jaden Slenderman Daniels. I don't disagree with that. I actually do agree with that. Eli Rax, I hope you're right, because Banks and Newsome outside corner duo was very awesome. I find it interesting that Adebo's losing his first team snaps. He does not seem to be a Harbaugh guy. Mr. Perry says, good Lord, Joe Shane should be fired. If you literally take a look at that first 2 drafts, and he's not getting fired. He got a 3-year extension. And I love it because people are like, well, they're extending. No, I keep hearing it's a 3-year extension plus that year, so it's 4 years. They're not getting rid of him. For all those plays that leave contribute nothing, Joe Shane is Dave Gettleman 2.0. I agree with that too. Especially with his free agency as well. But at least Dave Gettleman could find people in the draft. Heard Hyatt was the gunner on the special teams. I don't even think he could be a gunner on special teams. Let's see here. Mike Lee says, school's already started in Florida. Yeah, I know school's already started in Florida, but that's all right. That's why we're not moving until the end of September. So he's going to be in school for a little bit. He'll be in school for a little bit. So we found a nice place. It's a lower level penthouse over in Adventura. It overlooks was it Mystic Dunes, or I can't remember what it's fucking called. And there's the golf course right there. So it's a beautiful place. Let's see here. Brother Joe, the secondary is what I'm most worried about. I'm worried about the secondary, and I'm worried about the fucking running back room. Your bonus will have to be missing about a month of school. Your boy, that's all right. He's smart. Paulson Adebo could be cut if he can't be cut. We owe him way too much money. You have to find something out of Paulson Adebo. You have to find there. I'm hoping that Denard Wilson has the magic elixir for Paulson Adebo. I'm really hoping he does, because you cannot get rid of this guy till next year. You are so fucked on this 3-year, $54 million deal that it could literally come back to haunt you. The dead cap number for Paulson Adebo is $29.8 million. So almost 30. He's got a $24 million cap hit against almost a $30 million dead cap number. Next year, if you cut him, he's only got a $6 million dead cap number against a $20 million dead cap hit. You can't cut him. You cannot cut this guy. You have to find something. You have to find something that Paulson Adebo does well. You have to. Trenton, you're not who I want to talk to. Trenton, I'm not looking for an Eagle fan right now, brother.
How you doing, man?
What's going on, brother?
Last night of vacation, I'm just watching the sunset out here on the porch. Just wanted to drop in and say hi real quick.
Sure. I mean, you're at the beach, I'm assuming.
Yep. Just put the baby to bed, and the last thing on the agenda for the week is my dad and I like to go out and catch sand crabs and see how many we can catch. Like the little yellow ones that run around the beach.
Yeah.
We try to catch as many as we can in like a 15-minute span. Our record is 60 from a couple years ago.
Oh, okay. Okay, well that sounds like fun.
Yep. It's a good agility drill. Maybe the Giants will do it if they ever go to a beach retreat or something.
Well, let's hopefully it happens. Let's see what happens. But I just want me to drop you off because I have a limited amount of time today, so I'm trying to get as much in as I possibly can before I run out.
No problem, brother.
Go find his channel.
Good to see you, bud.
It's Sword Wings. Hey, enjoy the rest of your vacation, my friend.
I will. I got to go see the in-laws the next couple days, so wish me luck.
Yeah, good luck with that. That, of course, is Trenton with Soaring Wings. What do we got going on, brother?
What's good, man? How are you?
It is Big Greg, all the way from across the seas on his birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Greg. Happy birthday to you. It's my party, and I rhyme if I want to. Go ahead.
What's up, man? Like, I'm having a good day. Yesterday, man, was atrocious. A lot of partying, but
Well, that's good, though.
yeah, it was a good time. But yeah, today just chilling. So Tim, what's the state on the Giants, man? How are you feeling?
I'm feeling that it's only 2 weeks of training. I'm feeling that if I have to take a look at this, and you have two divisions of Giant fans: the overreaction of everything's horrible, and then the overreaction of every little play is fantastic. You've only been in pads 4 times. You've had 10 practices in 11 days, so you've had 9 practices so far. The 10th practice is tomorrow, and then they're going to get on the bus and go back. Saturday, they're going back to MetLife. I mean, it's been 9 practices.
Yeah, and practice makes perfect. Like it'll get better. The offense will catch up, and like the defense, of course, will be ahead. And all the schemes out there. Jackson Dart's learning a new system. Like, but he has a great amount of coaching. Like he has like head people who are head coaches, like as his like assistant, like quarterback coaching. Like so
his passing coordinator. He also has Greg Rome. He also has, of course, Matt Nagy, who has 2 Super Bowl rings.
Right.
One as a passing coordinator and one as a offense coordinator with with the Kansas City Chiefs. He also went to the playoffs twice with Mitchell Trubisky.
Hey, proofs in the pudding, man. But like, it all depends on Jackson Dart too, because he's kind of like a knucklehead quarterback, and I hope you can change that. Can you ever change that mindset? Like,
I don't think he's a knucklehead. I think his problem is he thinks he can do everything.
Yeah.
He is a guy that has this thought process of hero ball, and that's something that he had going back to USC. This was something he's had in Ole Miss. This is something he did his first year with the Giants. He tries to put too much on himself and not rely 100% on other people around him. And the other thing is, to your point, he's got a new head coach, new offensive coordinator, new offensive philosophy, new skilled players, and he's trying to work on his footwork. That's 5 things this kid is working on in camp, and we're asking him to come in here and be Steve Young or Joe Montana.
Yeah, it's not going to happen like this year. I think we might be slightly disappointed in Jackson Dart, but like hopefully we see some type of like progress. Like I hope he doesn't like lose more games for us than like I want him to win more games than lose. Like I don't know, man. Like I'm not really high on Jackson Dart, to be honest. I don't see what he really did. He doesn't have like he's good. Like I like him, but like he doesn't have the physical attributes of a Josh Allen where you could run in the field and take a hit, or he doesn't have the 60-yard bomb with the flick of the wrist. He doesn't have that.
No, he's not, but he's not that type of quarterback. Now you got to remember, people, especially after Josh Allen's first season. I mean, when Josh Allen first, and I'm not saying he's Josh Allen, but when Josh Allen came out of Wyoming, Josh Allen won 5 games and he had 10 touchdowns and 12 interceptions and only completed 52% of his passes. Josh Allen, the next year they went 10-6, but that was a better all-around team in Buffalo. But he still only had 20 touchdowns and 9 interceptions and only 3,000 yards. Josh Allen didn't explode till year 3, but they're 2 totally different quarterbacks. And like I said, to your point, Josh Allen, who had the accuracy questions coming out of Wyoming, had accuracy issues until year 3 because he worked on his footwork. He worked on his motion. He worked on everything that he needed to do to be a better player. Does Jackson Dart have the same arm strength as Josh Allen? Oh, fuck no.
But Tim, that's a different story catching the Josh Allen ball, man.
Yeah. But I think, like I said, if you're looking at a guy that is accurate as oh hell from 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage and 10 yards out, Jackson Dart is very proficient at that. It's just when you start getting deeper, we always show the charts, all the white dots are all of his incompletions. And there's always tons more white dots. There could be 9 white dots and 2 greens. And that to me is because of the fact that he needs to work on, and I loved it because I can't remember who brought it up because I didn't hear the early interviews with Nagy and with Callahan. And I think it was Slider that sent them to me, that they said the same thing that when they were hired, we need to work on this kid's footwork. And we have been saying that, like I said, since the combine 2 years ago.
Yeah, like I'm sorry to say this, we're gonna go to a different quarterback. I think Shedeur Sanders is gonna have a fucking good year, bro.
The weird thing about Shedeur Sanders is Todd Monken had said before going into camp that he wanted to name a starter before week 1. And the rumors have it that Shedeur Sanders has played so well at times at camp that he is basically tied with Deshaun Watson, to the fact that Todd Monken came out and said, okay, one guy is going to start the first game, the next guy is going to start the second game. That he still hasn't made a decision, and he's going to go 2 preseason games before he even probably makes a decision on either one of those quarterbacks.
Yeah, like there's something against Shedeur. I don't know what's going on, but like Shedeur is like, yeah, we see what he did in college, man. There's no way he can do that in the NFL. Like if he's in the right situation, if, like the team, I don't get like how all these teams could pass on Shedeur, like the whole draft, and that's another story. But we don't go there. But
yeah, we've gone there. That's another story for another day.
Yeah, but Jackson Dart. So Tim, Jackson Dart has a horrendous year, right? I'm talking about horrendous. Looks goddamn awful, right? Do we give him a leash if we're picking inside the top 10 with all these quarterbacks who are supposedly, allegedly, we don't know what's going on? Because last year we thought it was a quarterback draft, but it wasn't. But next year it's definitely going to be a quarterback draft. A lot of good quarterbacks coming out. Would you select another quarterback, or would you get a skill position? What would you do?
It depends on how horrible his season was.
But you're a Harbaugh. That's not your quarterback.
It's not your quarterback, but like I said, you already know you traded assets to get him. You already know that he kind of fits not the player, but he kind of fits a mold under Lamar Jackson. You won with Lamar Jackson. I'm not saying he's Lamar Jackson, but he fits the Lamar Jackson mold as a player. Very different skill sets, similar talents. And if he thinks he can win with this kid, and he's had nothing but high praises for Jackson Dart. I mean, I think it depends on how bad he plays. If he comes out and throws 8 touchdowns to 20 interceptions, if he looks like he's totally lost in the system, yeah, you probably start looking in the draft. But to your point, we thought this year's draft was going to be the greatest quarterback draft ever, and people flamed out. I know Carson Beck looked good in Arizona and the whatchamacallit game.
He sure did.
Game, but that's playing against grocery baggers and Home Depots. So I mean, I don't know. I can't get down on the kid until I see him play.
But the thing about it, how about like if Archie Manning sitting there, right, or like whoever is perceived to be the proverbial quarterback, and we're picking really high, you can trade Jackson Dart for like pennies or whatever, get something for him, and send him out and put the new guy in, your quarterback.
See, but I don't know what Manning's even going to be yet.
No, but he'll magically go to the Giants somehow. I guarantee you.
I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what Arch is going to. I wish I had a crystal ball and I could tell you what Arch is going to be, because as Archie Manning had a better season then he had a worse season than people would think, but he still had 26 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. But he only completed 60% of his passes.
But did he feel like
as he got more into the game, more into certain games, he also had some injury issues. He also had made some terrible decisions. And this is a guy that's his average yard per completion is only 7 yards.
Yeah. I'm not too high on the guy in Oregon either, because I don't see what people get from him. Like
Dante Moore?
Yeah, I don't see like what people think. I'm like, what is it?
Listen, man, I literally can't tell you, but all I know is this. Listen, Jackson Dart's your quarterback. Jackson Dart, for all accounts, is a good kid, except whatever you want to believe his political views are, and they're pretty prevalent.
You gotta have that.
He is very coachable, they say, that he listens, that he absorbs. And then, but like I said, a lot of people are down on this kid. And it's like, listen, he is trying to learn a brand new system. He is trying to learn new skill players. He is trying to learn a new offensive philosophy. And on top of that, they're just trying to teach him footwork.
He's a 20-something-year-old kid, man. Like, we got to relax with that. Like, he's in a high pressure system where this is New York. You have to, you have to win. Like,
but
everyone's looking at you, scrutinizing you.
He had shown that he could win in New York. He did only win 4 games, but he did it without Malik Neighbors. He did it without a true number one. He did it at certain points of time without a true running game. And the Giants were 6th or 7th in the league in rushing last year because of Jackson Dart.
But think about the rushing. Do you think we have enough at running back?
No.
Me either.
Nope, not even close. If Najee Harris has any signs of life, and I know there's still, because he blew out his Achilles in week 3 or 4. If he's got any signs of life that he could come in here, this is a guy that ran for 1,000 yards 4 out of 5 seasons with the Steelers. I mean, except we know what happened last year with the Chargers. But you got, Cam Scatterboo got banged up today and it was limping after 2 big hits from Marvell Reese. You got to be worried that I've been saying this for how long now? You are a Cam Scatterboo ankle and a Tyrone Tracy shoulder away from starting Devin Singletary and Eric Gray.
That's not good. That's not going to win games.
No, and you're investing all this not draft, but you're investing all these roster spaces on defensive tackles and wide receivers. But in some ways, we've kind of just said, hey, you know what? We want to run a power running game, but we don't have Derrick Henry.
But it's going to work for a while. I believe in it because, like, what's the fullback's name we got from Baltimore?
Patrick Ricard.
Oh my God! Like, that's gonna work. Like, it's gonna be some power football. It's gonna be some good runs. It's gonna be control Jackson Dart. I think we're gonna see improvement with Jackson Dart. Hopefully.
But you got to remember the Patrick Ricard only plays in 38% of the snaps the last 2 years, 36% of the snaps last year. So he's only going to play a third of your offensive plays.
Yeah, but
he's never scored a rushing touchdown or a pass catching touchdown.
Oh yes, he did. Yes, he did. Like on a sneak. Like a year ago. You sure?
100%.
Okay. If I find that film, I'm gonna text you 3 o'clock in the morning.
I'm 100%. I'll be up, brother. I'll be up. I got a lot of stuff going on tomorrow. I'll be up. I'll be up for a while.
What do you think about?
What's that? Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Sorry. Okay, and then what do you think about the wide receivers and our secondary?
I like the secondary's secondary's a hot mess. Well, I like the wide receivers. I keep telling people this over and over again. I have no problem, and I still think Malik Neighbors is not going to start the season because he's now 2 weeks in the training camp and he's really not running any. He's more running individual drills. But because people aren't factoring. People are looking at the wide receiver core and saying how terrible it is, but you're not factoring in Isaiah. You're not factoring Isaiah Likely. Isaiah Likely played 275 snaps in the slot last year. He's a guy, and I like Darius Slayton to a point. I think Calvin Austin's a good slot. I think Malachi Fields is going to have a role on this team. I think Darnell Mooney had his best season as a wide receiver under Matt Nagy. And I think that if you take a look at, listen, if you don't start Malik Neighbors, you're probably going to have OBJ as your fourth or your fifth. But he is a bubble guy, and the problem with him being a bubble guy in the 4 or 5, he may win the Dangerous David Sills Award because of the fact that he is the most overhyped player in camp, but he can't play special teams.
Who, Beckham?
Yeah.
Yeah, but Beckham, Beckham's route running is still he doesn't have the agility like he used to have, but
No.
his route running is still elite. There's people NFL can't do what old Beckham could do now. He still could catch the ball, but he doesn't have the explosiveness like he had.
The problem is he hasn't done it in 2.5 years.
Yeah, he doesn't. He's just looking for a check at this point.
Yeah.
I think.
And when you get suspended for peds in Miami,
Yeah, and you go bankrupt.
Because you can't get on the field. Listen,
Yeah,
if you have to take peds to get on the field in Miami,
eat the food.
I'm slightly go get a Cuban sandwich. I'm going, go get some tostones, go get some pasteles, go get some mofongo, but no.
I'm going to say this before I leave. I think Arvell Reese is going to be Rookie of the Year.
I still think that Arvell Reese is going to have a major impact, but I agree when we had that guy on from Ohio State, the former player, Brian Browning. I think Sonny Styles may be the Rookie of the Year, not because he's going to be a better player, but because he's going to get more opportunities on the Washington defense.
No, I think no. When I seen from Arvell Reese, I watched a lot of tape, not just the highlight stuff, film tape, how he sheds and
Oh yeah, but I'm just saying this. Sonny Styles is going to play. Listen, Arvell Reese is going to play a lot. Sonny Styles is going to play immediately. Sonny Styles is going to be a 3-down linebacker in Washington because out of necessity.
And that's a problem too. If you play him 2 times a game, chasing Jackson Dart. Yeah. What a good oh my God, that's like a Scud missile.
The NFC East is going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting this year. I mean, I don't think Washington's going to be much better than last year, even with Jaden Daniels, because Jaden Daniels before he got hurt wasn't playing well. It's going to be interesting this year. It's going to be divisional games are always important, but I think they're going to be more important this year because I'm not sure how Philly is going to progress without AJ Brown. Lemon and Devontae Smith have been out most of the camp with hamstring issues. Dallas is returning all 11 starters, and they're working on improving their defense. And, like I said, you go out and get the safety that helps, secure up that defensive backfield, which has always been an Achilles heel. And then, like I said, Washington was an old team last year, got younger this year, but will the young team gel? And you got a brand new head coach and a new situation with the Giants. So I do believe that NFC East divisional games are going to be at a premium.
Yeah, it's gonna be very interesting. It's like nobody's really. Some teams got the half glass full, the other half empty. It's gonna be. I think it's gonna be interesting. Dallas could make a big run. You never know.
You never know what's gonna happen. But Greg, I'm gonna let you know, my brother, because I want to get to the chat because I don't have a lot of time tonight, so I want to make sure I get through all the chat, and I'm already 39 minutes behind on the chat. So yeah. we got a lot to read, brother. But happy birthday!
Yeah, thanks, brother.
A joyous day. Go get some sleep because I know you gotta be tired.
Oh man!
But I appreciate you dropping in on your birthday. I haven't talked to you in a while, so I'll text you tomorrow.
No doubt. Love chat.
All right, brother. All right, that's Big Greg. I miss Big Greg sometimes. Big Greg hasn't been on in a while. Mr. Perry said, "Yeah, me too. Running back in defensive room scares the bejesus out of me." Mr. Eli Rack says, love OBJ, but I've said it during a podcast. He's on the bubble. I don't see him making the team unless preseason looks amazing. I think he will make the team if Neighbors is out 3 weeks. I don't think if Neighbors is back, I don't think he makes the team. I think he's on the practice squad. Slider says, man, who are all these DBs behind Banks? I got no freaking clue. Big Michael says, how has the run defense looked? I don't know because they're really not saying. I just know last year the run defense, and we said this on the stream last year because we went to almost every single open practice. I was never sure if our running backs were really, really good or our run defense was really bad last year in training camp, because there were huge, massive runs by Tyrone Tracy, by Cam Scattaboo. And I kept saying, I don't know if we're really just good. I mean, if these guys are just running backs are just really good, or if we're just really bad against stopping the run. And well, it turned out that we were just really bad at stopping the run. Don't forget Gary Reasons on Sunday, 10 a.m. Well, he'll be on at 10:30. He's going to come in, drop his knowledge 3-time, and as Joe Ferries would say, friend of the show, Gary Reasons. We're going to have he's a 3-time guest. I love Gary Reasons. Like I said, I love every time Gary Reasons comes on the show. I think he's phenomenal. I think he's fantastic. He knows that. So make sure you come in on Sunday, come in hot, because Gary's going to be, I got a lot of questions about Gary for Gary. I got a lot of questions about the linebackers for Gary. We got a bunch of other guests coming up next week as well, which is going to be a lot of fun. I'm actually, it's funny. I'm actually working with some people in, it's always these surreal moments as a podcaster. And I laugh because when we did the Judy Batista interview, I was in Miami. So that's why it looked like I was cracking up, because I was talking with the communications director for ESPN, and he was texting me, and I was like, the communications director from ESPN Sports is texting me right now in Miami about having Judy Batista on. I was like, that was a fucking surreal moment. And now, because I don't want to brag, because we are such a big time show now. I don't want to brag about it, but so.
Do you know who I am?
No, I can't say that I do.
I don't know how to put this, but I'm kind of a big deal.
So now we have the NFL contacting us. And I always love it, because I want to say to them, that we're just, because we're just a bunch of, I'm a dumbass podcaster. They're like, would you have this guest on? And I was like, I'm not going to say who the guest is yet, because I always wait till we're confirmed. And I always wait till I send out either the StreamYard link or until we have the show in the can. And I'm like, yeah. It's like, yeah, sure. Let's see here. Massetti, what's up, brother? Dart seems like a player that will do his best and not fail. Dart is a competitor. Listen, I'm not a Jackson Dart fan. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not a Jackson Dart fan. I've said this before. I've said this a million times before. I've said it a billion times. But listen, the kid, unlike T-Brad, what's up, brother? The kid doesn't quit. The kid, he's got some massive stupidity in regards to the fact that we've talked about this before. Getting a third down conversion on a 3rd and 1 in September does not help this team in December. And when we were at the town hall and everyone asked him, what can you do differently for your game? And everyone was like, slide. And he was like, yeah, I probably should say slide. But then he goes, but I'm going to do what I do best. I was a little concerned about that. I'm not going to lie. I was a little concerned about that. Eli says, Tim, in your opinion, who's most likely to take a step forward this season, Abdul Carter or Jackson Dart? I'm going Jackson Dart. Only because of the fact that I don't believe in Abdul Carter. And there's nothing against the kid. I think he could be a 10-sack guy, but I think he's a situational pass rusher. We have seen him. Listen, you can't teach speed. Speed is something, Eli, and you know this, you cannot teach. But the problem is this. What happens to a Ferrari that runs headfirst into a brick wall? The brick wall wins. We saw it with Lane Johnson, a bunch of other people last year. He tried to power rush these guys, at one point, I remember the second Eagle game, he tried to power rush Lane Johnson, and Lane Johnson, he disappeared. Not Lane Johnson, Abdul Carter. And all of a sudden, Lane Johnson did this, and there was Abdul Carter again. I was like, wow, that's fucking magic. Speed can be pushed to the outside. Speed can be slowed down. Speed, when it is on the field consistently, can be used to your disadvantage, especially if you over pursue on plays. This is a kid that they're talking about potentially using as a linebacker. This is a kid that had a 25.9% missed tackle percentage 2 seasons in a row at Penn State, and he was not a very good off the ball linebacker. He's not very good in coverage. He doesn't tackle well in space, but what he can do is rush the passer. And I said this last year, if you would have came up with packages for Abdul Carter, rush packages, some exotic packages for Abdul Carter, put him in the game, definitely when it's obvious passing downs, create opportunities for him. He could have had 10, 11 sacks. May have only had 20 plus tackles, but he could have been Jets price off 10, 11 sacks. I agree the same thing this year. He can do the same thing, create opportunities and packages for him. But if I see Abdul Carter, Kayvon Thibodeau, and Brian Burns on the field at the same time, I'm probably thinking they're bringing the heat. And I'm probably going to check out into a run. Because neither one of those guys are not all three. Brian Burns is the better at playing the run. Brian Burns is the best of the bunch setting the edge. But between Kayvon Thibodeau and Abdul Carter, I'm running right at him. If I am the Eagles, if I am the Cowboys, I am making them stop the run. Because history has shown, especially the last 4 years with Kayvon Thibodeau, it's not going to work. You're not going to know. Yeah, I didn't know I had connections like that either. It's weird. It's fucking weird. And I'm like, yeah, okay. It's like, I still got some connections and some, people around the league. That's why we get certain people. That's why I get certain people on, like people that there's certain guests that we've had on that I know. But I just like, it's hilarious that, I'm on vacation. I'm getting text messages from ESPN, the communications director of ESPN, because ESPN bought the NFL Network. And that was just surreal, because I'm like, this is really surreal right here. And then the fact that Jody Batista just did such a fantastic interview, and then she stayed for almost 40 minutes. I was like, and I love it because they always say, oh, you got her from like 10, 15 minutes. And then I was talking to Judy before the interview, and it was weird because I was like, so what, we have like 10, 15 minutes? She's like, no, let's see how it goes. Let's see where it goes. And I felt bad because I looked and we were like almost 40 minutes in. And I'm like, well, I don't know how long I can keep talking to her because I got like 900 more questions. But, so we tried to wrap it up a little bit. Joe Spano says one reason Harbs took the job is because of Dart. I agree. He did take it because of Dart. Oh, my God. Let's see here. Mr. Ward says, did you make sure Abdul Carter didn't sleep during training camp? Tim, not a fan of Abdul Carter. It's not, like I said, not that I'm not a fan of Abdul Carter. I just think that Abdul Carter, I said it during the draft. There was 2 guys in that draft that scares the bejesus out of me. That was Travis Hunter and Abdul Carter. I was kind of hoping both were gone at 3, but I didn't think that was, of course, we knew that wasn't going to happen. And Travis Hunter, I was more concerned the fact that he's still not a defined positional player. And going back, unless you're Gordy Lockbaum, and I'll wait for you to Google that one. I didn't see him playing 2 ways, and it did not work out. But I always said Abdul Carter has potential as a pass rusher. Pass rushers are always at a premium. But well-rounded pass rushers, Myles Garrett, are at above a premium. And I think that, and he's not in a Myles Garrett mode, but it's just kind of weird. Mike Lee said, I heard Tony Romo might be looking for a gig soon. Hey, Tony Romo, I'm not going to lie. Tony Romo is going to be, he's going to be our new host For those that do not know, we just signed on to do a new show. It's going to be fun. It's bats, balls, and bad decisions. Unscripted, unqualified, unapologetic. It's everywhere. It's going to be up everywhere right now. I think next week is the first couple episodes. We just signed that up. We just signed that deal was closed on Wednesday. So brand new podcast. We're going to have guests. We're going to have fireworks. We're going to have, I don't know what the fuck you have on shows. I don't know. I'm not running it. I just love it because I'm just talent. In other words, Tim, those trades ain't happening for a host of reasons. You're 100% right. What's up, Tim? Timothy says, why not, Joe? I didn't get to the trade yet. Hold on. Will the Giants trade Slayton the 22nd? No, you're right. They're not happening. I don't have to go back and read them anymore. The word sir is no. So therefore I'm going anyways. Let's see here. Mike Lee said it would be nice if we could get a number one. It would be nice if we can get a number one. Romo becoming a driving instructor. Leave Tony Romo alone. I just love that he was going to go see his grandparents, but his grandparents are dead. So that's a long ride, Tony. But we've all been fucked up. Tim, guys, don't let Tim fool you. He's very well connected.
That's what she said.
Oh, I thought you said very well hung. I'm sorry about that. Let me see. Happy birthday, Mr. Isaiah Jackson. Mr. Tim, I'm worried about this interior defensive line. I'm not. Eli, why don't you come on the fucking show? Why don't you come on the show a minute? Why don't you help me out? Come on the show a second. I wasn't even supposed to stream tonight. I just didn't feel like doing a video tomorrow. Because it's called lazy. I'm going to put the link in the chat again. You know what we need to figure out? We need to figure out if Eli was going to come on the show, would there be a place that we can go and place that bet? Oh, I know where we can go. We can go to the mighty FanDuel. It's FanDuel.com, the number one sportsbook in America. Right now, the New York Giants, if you go over to the sportsbook, is still 2.5-point home dogs to the fucking Cowboys. I've already said it. It's the lock of the week. I want you guys to book it. I want you guys to go on the mighty FanDuel right now. It is the Giants lock of the week right now. Giants, I forgot what it is, 27-17. Throw caution to the wind. Go to the mighty FanDuel. It's FanDuel.com, the number one sportsbook in America. I love the fact that Jackson Dart was a plus 6,500 to actually make and become the NFL MVP. Was he still at 6,500? Jackson Dart is 60. Jackson Dart is 60 plus 6,500 become the NFL MVP. Daniel Jones is a plus 10,000. I find it interesting that Abdul Carter, according to the mighty FanDuel, it's FanDuel.com, the number one sportsbook in America, is plus 4,500 to become the defensive player of the year. That's interesting. Malik Willis is plus 12,500 to become. I'm gonna take the Malik Willis bet. How Jaden Daniels is plus 2,200 over Jackson Dart, I don't know. I saw a lot of things to be concerned about with Jaden Daniels last year before the injury, and he's at plus 2,200, while Jackson Dart is plus 6,500. Listen, guys, I'm going to tell you right now that I'm going to call it right now. I've already called it the lock of the week. The Giants are 2.5-point dogs. You need to jump on that bet now. Take the points, take the spread, do whatever you need to do. Giants are winning that game. Get your early bet in right now for the FanDuel. Take a look at the Giants Super Bowl chances, not like going to Super Bowl and winning the Super Bowl. They're at plus 7,000, so they were at plus 6,500. The Steelers have moved up to plus 5,500. The Washington Commanders are at plus 5,500. I don't know, man. There must be Vegas has got to have something going on with the Commanders because I'm not seeing it yet. But because there's older talent in that team. There's younger talent now, but I can't see plus 5,500. The Giants plus 7,000 to make it and win the Super Bowl. I don't see it, man. I don't see it. And right now, if you refer a friend and get bonus bets, invite your friends to join FanDuel, and you'll both get bonus bets after they place their bet and sell the first bet. Of course, everyone knows we love it here. It's probably one of the easiest apps to download. That's FanDuel.com, the number one sportsbook in America. FanDuel, We love it. You love it. As Chris says, smash that like button because you got nothing to lose. Happy birthday. Happy Vikings birthday. I didn't know it was a Vikings birthday. Happy birthday, Greg. Giants panic and trade with the Rams. Let's see. I thought Daboll's specialty was developing quarterbacks. I've said this before. I could have developed Josh Allen. I could have been Josh Allen's offense coordinator after his first 2 seasons. Would have been great. I'd be like,
Josh, on this play, I want you to throw a touchdown.
Then he throws a touchdown. See, I told him to do that. Well, I got to see what Brian Dable, the boy wonder genius, is with Cam Ward. Mike Reese says he got the rep when he worked with Allen, but it appears it was more Allen than Dable. You know what's funny? It appears at times it was more Brady than Belichick. Joe Spano says it's supposed to be the last year he abandons the development because of lack of job security and gets worried about stealing wins to save his job. That's what she did. Mr. Warfield said, I'll never forgive Joe Shane for letting Xavier McKinney go. Tim, I was crying for weeks in my sleep. He didn't even offer him a contract. And then you give Paulson, then you give Holland $4 million less the next year. And Holland literally had one of the worst seasons a safety has had in the last 30 years. And we were like, we're going to be the smartest guys in the room again, and we're going to overpay this motherfucker. That's like giving Paulson Adebo 3 years, 54, 36 guaranteed, where most people in the NFL that I talked to said, you know what you need to do? You need to give Paulson Adebo a 2-year, $20 million deal, guarantee the first year at 10, see if he recovers for the injury, make the second year a player option, and then renegotiate if he's the Paulson Adebo he was before the injury. Joe Shane, 3 years, 54, 36 guaranteed. Boom, I'm a fucking genius. I'm not saying nothing. Can Adebo return kicks? I don't know. We got the kick room filled with Banks. The kick room is full right now. I caught crabs in the sand once. You caught crabs with Sandy once? Hey-oh. Oh, my God. Let's see. Greg is 21. Yeah, it does look like Greg is 21. Big Mike. I just don't understand taking power from the GM instead of fire him. I don't get the point of it. Why not let Harbaugh get his own GM here? I'm going to tell you, I'm going to listen. Gary Myers had a tweet about this, and we asked him about it when he came on the show. And the tweet basically was, and he basically said that Giant ownership told all coaching candidates that Joe Shane was going to be here in some capacity. Literally, Gary Myers is tight with John Harbaugh. He's writing a book about this upcoming season. And it's not going to be just about the Giants. It's about John Harbaugh. It's about the trials and tribulations, about everything else. But he literally told him, they literally told him, whoever was interviewing, that Joe Shane is a part of this organization. And I thought that was really weird when he brought that up. Brad, what's up, brother? Slider says, here a ball gets you killed and usually ends up with an L. You're not wrong. Joe Spano says, everyone forgets that the offense is going to be a blend of Nagy plays, Rome plays, and Callahan plays with Nagy calling the plays. I think blending these plays together in the offense adds time. Whoa, Antro roll on the show. Serious? I'm going to say this, and I'm not going to say who it is yet. When this person comes on the show, I may just retire. After this person comes on the show, I might just quit because there would be no place that this would be the precipice. This could be my magnum opus. And it's looking more and more likely that this is going to happen. It's a little weird. That's all I'm going to say. FanDuel is king. Forget having him on the show. Get him a jersey, even though he might be better than our current DB situation. Mr. Perry says, quarterback maybe, running back for sure. Slider says, why is everyone worried about the DB and running back room? I totally agree. Worried about our quarterback situation if Dart gets concussed. Listen, if Dart gets concussed, we got some problems because evidently Jameis Winston has looked horrid. Evidently, Jameis Winston, like I said, Jameis Winston by year 2 usually wears out his welcome with a team. We saw it with Tampa. We saw it with the Saints. We saw it with Cleveland. Jameis Winston's antics and fun plays well for a while, but then it kind of goes downhill. And it's kind of like, okay, your antics outweigh your worth to the team. And Brandon Allen hasn't looked any better. And Brandon Allen, in my regards, is a better fit for the Nagy system to mirror what Jackson Dart does than Jameis Winston. You're going to have to change your play calling ability is going to change if you move Jameis Winston in. Joe Spano says, Slider says you can buy a few weeks with Winston, but no more than that. Being multiple times, any which longer, yeah, then the season is over. Whoa, Reese might show up. Whoa, Reese roughed. He's on 2 consecutive plays. Arvell Reese nailed Cam Scatterbo. To the second play, the Cam Scatterbo came out limping. So, and I've said this, and I'm going to keep saying this over and over again. My biggest fear, besides banana tree spiders, is the fact that we are an ankle and a shoulder away from seeing Devin Singletary and Devin Singletary and Eric Gray. If that doesn't scare you as a Giant fan, if that doesn't scare you that I am bigger than Eric Gray, if that doesn't scare the bejesus out of you, that people called him baby quads, but my quads are just as big as Eric Gray's, and this guy is always 2 yards in a cloud of dust. He's Billy's 2 yards Taylor. If anyone remembers Billy Taylor from the early Giants, we got problems. Joe Ferry says, yeah, Winston is coming into a game or one start at a time, 3 weeks in a row. No way. But crab legs are still better than anyone's backup, 100%. Joe Spana says it relates to the running game as much as Rome's power grip scheme involving pullers. And I don't know who the Giants O-line can serve that role. Something to watch. Listen, you can't pull the guards. You can, unless you're pulling Big Francis. One of the biggest things, I know someone that still works in Green Bay. And when we got John Runyon, I was joking with him. Hey, we got John Runyon, motherfucker. He's like, good. We didn't want him anymore because we were actually rotating him in the last 6 weeks of the season with a rookie and even going into the playoffs. And he goes, don't pull him as a guard because he will trip over his own feet. And they said that if John Runyon came in and asked for $10 million, they were going to laugh at him and let him go. They were going to give him like $4 million. What's up, brother? What's up, EC12? How are you doing? I haven't seen you in a while. Joe Ferry says, yeah, Nagy can get these guys open. A lot of these young OCs can get guys open no matter what it looks like at LaFleur last night. I'm going to tell you now, quick 3-step drop, set up fast, think fast, get the ball out quick, consistent, use the pass as an extension of your run game. Said this before. It's not going to be the exact same, but you are building this in a Seifert style 94 49ers offense. It's the same thing that's ingrained in the Andy Reid offense as well. I'm not saying he's Steve Young. I'm not saying they're going to be 94 49ers, which was a prolific offense, but you set up quick, use the pass as the extension of the run. And if you want to play a power running game, you're going to need this short passing game to get you those tough 4 or 5 yards at times. Because I don't think we have the horses in the backfield right now to make that. That's what I'm going to say. Lots of these offensive coaches get antiquated quickly. I don't disagree. You're 100% right. That does happen. Let's see. Tim says, Joe Spano, but the Giants need to raise their cap space and eat contracts. Matthew C., what's up, brother? Where you been, Matthew C.? Hope you're doing well. Hope the missus is doing well. Speaking of new podcast show, what's happened to the UF deal you had? Yeah, that deal never actually went through. This deal's done. This deal's done. This deal's signed. This deal is in the books. Greg says, what's up, Tim? As he says, I'm so excited this season. I believe in the team and the coaches for once in a long time. I agree. Let's see here. Joe Spano says, I think it's the type of defense, interior defense, what the hard likes. Big physical run pluggers. Look at the history of the interior defensive line. Get big physical run stuffers, no stars, no elite pass rushers with a few exceptions. Listen, it's the Giants situation depth chart wise in the interior line. I like Reeder. I like Sam Roberts. I like Shelby Harris. I want to see what Bobby Jamerson Travis can do. Darius Alexander, there's just such this misconception in certain parts of the Giant community that Darius Alexander is a run stuffer. He's not. He was never a run stuffer at Toledo. He was a pass rusher at Toledo. Joe Shane, when we drafted him, he was the 12th defensive tackle taken in defensive tackle late in draft. He is a little over 300 pounds at 6'4". He reminds me of Matt Pert, body frame wise. And I don't see him anchoring the center of the line. I see him bringing him in at times to be the guy that can gain penetration.
That's what she said.
And help create pass rushing lanes for Kayvon Thibodeau, Brian Burns, and Abdul Carter. But I think your interior of your line is fine. It's going to be your true defensive ends that gets me worried, and it's going to be your outside linebackers it's going to be interesting. And I've said it before, I think Tremaine Edmonds and Arvell Reese, I think you're going to have a dynamic duo in the middle of that field. Likely is going to be the stuff this year for Dart. He's going to be 100%. He is likely is going to be that guy for Dart. And like I said, people are like, OBJ can be the safety net. No, I see Likely being the safety net. I see Likely being that, that dump off guy. Mike Lee says, perhaps Diggs signing has something to do with the Deadskins. Listen, I'm going to say this again. It's all the sexual allegations against Stephon Diggs are alleged. My only concern is his brother paid this guy off already in regards to the assault charge. Like I said, I nothing against Stephon, but I'm sitting here thinking, I touch myself or I touch other people. Not saying anything. Jay Sports Cards, what's up? Late night, Tim. Yeah, I thought I would jump on because I really didn't feel like doing a video for tomorrow. I'm not going to lie to you. Everyone smack that like button. Thank you, brother, man. Joe Spano says, Tim, speaking truth about what happens when your GM whiffs on someone and then takes the money and spends it someone else you don't necessarily believe in. 100%. Eli Manning? No, he's not talking Eli Manning. Mike Lee says, you should have told me you were in Sweden. Yeah, you guys could have hung out. I think Judy said Harbaugh was good with Wiley, and they had a good relationship. She did. I asked Judy Batista about John Harbaugh. And she even said from what she was hearing the same thing. They have a good relationship. They have a good working relationship. And, it was never a hindrance from John Harbaugh to take the job, which is fine. I don't have a problem with that. What's with the hype? With that hype, it has to be Bob Papa. No, me and Bob Papa, we buried the hatchet. I already told you guys this. I have recorded a call with Bob Papa, and Bob Papa gave me his blessing. And him and I got on the phone, and I recorded part of the conversation, and I played it the other day. I'm going to play it again for you guys, so so you can believe it.
I freaking worship you, man. I'm sorry I was whack. I was whack. I was whack.
Heck, you're bigger than JSM, and he's playing. No, I'm not bigger than JSM. But JSM is a big guy. He's a tall. JSM is a tall. I'm a tall guy. JMS is a tall guy, and he's yeah. I'm not bigger than JSM. Eric Gray, yes. JSM, no. DJ Reeder and Shelby Harris are run stuff. I love the interior of the line. I'm not going to lie to you. As long as they stay healthy, and a lot of the problems I think the Giants are going to have issue-wise is health. Right now, no. But what I mean is this. There is a segment of this team that if you lose certain positions, the depth is not there. Defensive line Interior defensive line. Did you like that, Joe Ferris? Did you like that? Joe Ferris got it. Nice heel turn, Tim. Bury the hatchet with big time with Bob Papa. Bury the teenager with McLovin's threatening exposure on you. Yeah, you know what happens? You disappear. Like my favorite line, don't go away, mad, just go away.
I am McLovin.
Losing my voice here. How's Joe Shame of you to kiss up to the big guy and the little guy disappears? Well, actually, no, I wasn't kissing up to the big guy. I was actually being kind of a dick. No, but I'm going to tell you right now, guys, the guest from the NFL is going, like I said, it is, I've always joked about this with Mrs. Online Big Blue. It says one time, there's going to be one moment in my career that I'm going to reach my magnum opus. That there's going to be some interview that is just going to be so out of left field. No way in hell this person should ever be on a show like this. And then that person's going to show up. So it's probably going to be, I'm going to think, hold on, let me tell you. It's not Malik Willis. I'm thinking it's going to be either the week of the 20th or the 27th. It's going to be one of those. It's going to be one of those days. And that's not the right weeks. I'm sorry. 17th or the 17th or the 24th. It's going to be one of those days. One of those days. And it's going to be, do you have the Austin Powers on the show? Oh, Big Dom? Yeah. Big Dominic Palmer, he's always...
Welcome to the draft, baby. Yeah.
Dominic Palmer's over in the UK. David, no, this isn't even a giant. Well, this isn't even a giant. This is an NFL personality. Has a connection to the giant, but it's an NFL personality. Hall of Famer as well. That's all I'm giving out. That's all I'm giving out. That's all I'm going to say. You complete me like Dr. Evil and Mini-Me. Let's say should have done you complete me. Of course, to Jerry Maguire. Oh my goodness, man. Mr. Perry's just having himself a good old fucking time. I want to make sure I didn't miss anything in the chat besides Blockbuster saying happy birthday. Slider says Joe's trying to picture that right now, and it seems bad. Eagle fans are easily entertained. Yeah. Eagle fans, you have to do this. You know, you just have to go, hey, look, you know, oh, look, Eagle fan, I lost my thumb. Oh, no, where'd it go? No, I love Trent. Do not be shocked if he can't cut him. You cannot cut Paulson Adebo. You will be cutting to almost $30 million. You will lose $30 million in cap space when you only have 10 now with the rule of 51. And we cannot keep extending. We cannot keep taking these contracts and turning them around and kicking the can down the road. We can't keep doing that. Because people are like, well, you convert the money for, I always love people because a lot of people don't get this. Well, we'll just convert the guaranteed money to guaranteed bonus money and everything will be fine. Okay, yes. On the surface, that seems smart. But here's the problem. When you do that, you also have to kick some of the guaranteed money down the road. You don't just kick it. You just don't kick the can that year. Money gets pushed out into the following years as well. Brian Burns' dead cap number went up by $4 million next year in 27 after we converted a lot of his salary to bonus this year because it's part of the rules. Oh, I'm so tired of being smart. I'm trying to find something. Yes, Tony Romo is going to come on here and he's going to revamp his image. Trent's Chicken Wing Podcast is doing okay. I don't know. I actually looked on a couple of his shows. Slider says, I don't know if Joe Shane pulls the trigger. Are we screwed? He's not going to do it. What's up, my love? Mrs. Online Big Blue is coming through the doorway, waving. She's waving to the crowd. Mrs. Online Big Blue is going to be at the game on the 15th. James Williams is going to be there. Mrs. Online Big Blue is going to be there. Told you guys I'm going to go hang out in the parking lot and go drink underneath the F8 sign. So come bring me a beer. He comes off like Jeffrey Dahmer vibes. Who does? Oh, gee. Oh, be nice to Trenton. Joe Shane has done horrific signings, drafting, and let people go. It's insane if you look at all that. If you literally, I love it. Slider says, Mrs. Online Big Blue, Tim is fantastic host. He's awesome. Here you go, Slider. Here's your $4. All right, I got to see if I got any change for Slider. Yeah, here we go. Well, Slider, I don't have any money for you this month. Sorry, bro. I don't even have a nickel for you, but I appreciate it, brother. Listen, if you break down all of Joe Shane's failures vis-a-vis trades, Darren Waller, vis-a-vis free agency, Paris Campbell basically did say it. He said the only reason that he signed with the Giants is because no one else offered him a contract. That's pretty bad. That's not good. And you take a look at his draft failures, potentially, like I said, next year, his first 2 draft classes can be total whiffs. There could be no one on this team outside of maybe McFadden for his first 24 picks. I'm all for learning on the job, but he hasn't gotten any better with Tyler Nubin or Drew Phillips or Darius Muasau. Hopefully Theo Johnson makes this huge Herculean step. And I'm tired of hearing that. I always love it. It's every year. It's, well, this draft class just saved his job. And then 2 years later, we're like, well, this guy's cut. This guy's gone. This guy's cut. Greg says, gotta go, Tim. Hope to add a like and check in later, man. Go, Big Greg. A lot of his acquisitions have done zero. You're right. A lot of Joe Shane's acquisitions have been not good. And I'm kind of hoping we've reached this point where we look at this, and it, like I said, it's not going to happen because we've heard it from multiple sources. Make sure you hit the like. Let's get to 50 likes. We've heard it from multiple sources that, from Gary, 2 very respected people in and around the NFL, and Gary Myers and Judy Battista, that the Giants told coaching candidates that Joe Shane was going to be a part of this team in some capacity. So you have to, if you take the job, you're taking Joe Shane. And the fact that John Harbaugh has said multitudes of times that he can work with Joe Shane. So if you look at it from that perspective, it's just kind of crazy. Brian Burns has been his biggest, probably one thing that saved him, Tim. Yeah, but the Brian Burns trade was more because of Dan Morgan than Joe Shane. We've saw it on Hard Knocks, the gift that always gives. Dan Morgan went up and offered Brian Burns to Joe Shane, and Joe Shane was like, what do you want, 2 number 2s, 2 number 1s? Way to start high, Joe. Slider says, oh, shit. Can't rip up the host now. Damn, because I can't thank the number. Thanks, the venerable John Rossi. Joe Ferry's also said, yeah, but he dumped Leo due to old age and a bunch of cap deals, and Leo won the. He dumped Leo because we didn't have any cap space. That's the fucking problem. He dumped Leo because he didn't have any cap space to sign a quarterback. This is Online Big Blue. Let's get those likes up for our number 1 host, Metal Yellow Red First Red. Metal Yellow First Red. I don't know. That's probably something. I don't know. That's Mrs. Online Big Blue. She's riding the magical unicorn, also known as Karl Anthony Towns. He dumped Leo because we had no money spent. I love it because I love Joe Shane because he came out and said, we gave Leonard Williams an option. We could trade him or he could stay. There was no option. We had no cap space. We had to trade a player. We had to trade a player of a significant value because we didn't even have money to sign a quarterback that we desperately needed. So,
King of the almost sack
went off to Seattle with Julian Love, with the love child. They became two of the 11 over on that vaunted defense. And we had a backup quarterback that didn't even stay a year because we mismanaged the cap space so poorly that we had to trade arguably one of our best interior linemen. Shane took a massive cap hit to dump. He did, but he needed the money. Slider said, everyone thanked Joe Shane for incompetence.
Thanks, Joe Shane.
Let's see. Mike Lee says, next podcast project, Mrs. and Mrs. Online Blue and a pitcher of sangria, but don't eat the fruit. Never. I can hear her in the other room. She's laughing about eating the fruit, Mike Lee. About eating the fruit. Everyone knows we're not going to get into that. We're not getting into that story again. Let's see. Jay Sports Car says we have the worst two GMs ever in Gettleman and Shane. Where do they keep finding these losers? I think they go to the loser bin. Let's see. Here's a slider. So Giant fans stopped admiring Joe and being a classy guy, so we had no money. Joe Ferry says, dude, Joe Shane looked like a Saturday Night Live skit on Hard Knocks. It looks like he was mocking and humiliating terrible GM. Yeah, you had that survey from the players, and Joe Shane was voted the worst GM in the league. And we sat there as an organization and said, so the players in the league have voted Joe Shane as the worst general manager. He got what did he get, a D- in his grade? So we sat there as an organization and said, he was voted the worst GM in the league. His final grade was a D-. You know what we should do? We should hire a borderline Hall of Fame head coach looking for his next big job and give him Joe Shane. Really? Really? I think Joe Shane. I think Joe Shames was a. I think Joe Shames was a better GM. Well, Dan Morgan's team looks pretty good right now. Well, they won the playoffs of 2 games under 500. Pack and check out time. The R&B is 11 a.m. Oh yeah, you're leaving Georgia. I'm assuming you're flying back to Cali. He's going back to Cali. I'm going back to Cali.
I don't think so.
Oh, let's see here. Lol, Joe Shane was asked about it and all Trump and questioned the voting process. Lol, that dude is crazy. Oh, Joe Shane. Joe. I don't know what to do about Joe. Where do you go with Joe? X is really blowing up. What's going on with X over here? What did I do? I always have to love it when I look. Giants have waived cornerback Bernard Converse with an injury designation. I didn't even know we had a guy named Bernard Converse. Oh shit! We also got rid of Phil Nike, and we also look like we got rid of Billy Puma. Sorry, going back to Cali. Going back to Cali. I don't think so. Slayer says, "Yep, Asian food sucks in Georgia." I've already told you, Asian food sucks in Arizona. Took a trip there. I've already told the story. I took a trip to Arizona and went and got fried rice, and I got the fried rice back to the room, and the fried rice was white. I drove back to the damn Chinese restaurant, and he goes, "Yeah, that's fried rice." I'm like, "No, fried rice is not white." I know, Mr. Perry. I don't even know who the hell this is, but we got rid of him, so I can't go back into Cali. New scum ruined it. Joe, he ruins our quarterback room too. He did ruin our quarterback room too. We traded up one space to get Deontay Banks, and the team that we leapfrogged didn't even take a corner in the entire draft. This was the year for Joe to be on Hard Knocks. I could see Joe coming in with a contract only to get shut down. You know what? Listen, Hard Knocks will always be the gift that keeps on giving for Joe Shane. There were so many bad things in that situation for Hard Knocks that I don't even know. I really can't even tell you. Let's see here. Let's see. Slayer says, worst GM. No way, Tim. You can't scrub five.
Some people say I'm a genius, but how can you scrub 5 and 7?
Is the running back our biggest question mark? I don't know if the running back is. Kind of racist, Zach. No, our biggest question mark is the cornerback room. Listen, you paid Paulson Adebo 3 years, $54 million. He's been so horrid in camp that you replaced him at times today and yesterday with Deonte Banks. That's like replacing shit with diarrhea. You don't want either one of them. Hell, if this is the case, I'm fucking coming out of retirement. I think I could give you one half play. Maybe half play, I think I can give you. But literally, if you are looking at this situation and saying, Paulson Adebo is bad, but I'm going to go from bad to worse, and I'm going to bring him Deonte Banks. And from what I'm keep hearing from camp, he's still not turning his head. That's a problem. That is something that he is probably turning his head and looking back at the ball while he's running with fluid motion is probably something he has done since Pop Warner. And now all of a sudden he can't turn his head. We got to drop in. You've heard of You Ain't Seen Nothing Like
The Mighty Quinn.
No, it's T. It's the T, Brad. What's up, brother?
Hey, what's going on, man? How you been?
I've been good. What have you been up to?
Working. Usual.
Mr. I have a job. Look at
Yeah.
me.
Being responsible and shit.
Being a responsible adult.
What the hell was I thinking?
Getting ready for school.
Yeah, you were bashing Joe Shane earlier. That's my type of party.
Ain't no party like a Joe Shane bash party. But
yeah,
like I said, we've had 2 guests on, and both Gary Myers and Judy Batista, who both said that the Giants basically told candidates that if you want this job as the head coach, Joe Shane is going to be part of this organization. And I find it so weird that this has kind of gone on the radar, because Gary Myers even posted it on X. I'm like, but how do people not look at this? Is it just the euphoria that we have John Harbaugh that people still miss the fact that they were told, John Harbaugh was told, you want this job, Joe Shane's in the organization?
I mean, the Giants, being a coach of the New York Giants means a lot. So if you got to work with an idiot, if you're a good enough coach, you'll expose that he's an idiot. I'm not going to let one idiot stop me from taking, the Giants is a dream job as far as, franchises go. You can do a lot worse. We haven't been like that in like a decade, but.
Are you looking at Cleveland?
Yeah, no, thank you. Live in Cleveland, well, I'm not going to live in New York City, but live in Hoboken.
You're not living in New York. You play in Jersey, so you're not gonna pay the New York taxes to play.
Yeah, no. You're gonna live in Hoboken. Yep.
You're gonna live in Hoboken.
Saddlebrook, yeah, somewhere up there.
You're gonna be around there. But we on this show reported, I mean, not that long after the season, that I heard that Joe Shane was gonna get an extension. So it wasn't even, and of course,
you announced that early.
I announced that way early, and it turned out to be true. But my thing was this: everyone was like, "Well, Joe Shane can just fire him after a year." I was hearing that he was getting the extension even before they fired Brian. I mean, not even before, even before they truly got rid of Mike Kafka and started the coaching search. Because people kept saying, why is he looking for the coach? And I kept telling people, because I'm hearing he's getting an extension.
Yep.
So there was no opportunity at times for John Harbaugh to say, I'm going to bring in my own guy.
I mean, maybe Joe Shane is related somewhere in there. Because I've never seen someone fail so great.
All white people are related. You know this.
No, I didn't know that, but
I got
man,
used to these things, man.
I was like, Joe Shane came in there and has fired every single person that he's hired, but somehow he stays. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And the teams play bad, though all years except one. The teams play bad, and still you ascend. Still you ascend.
You have 7 wins in 2 years. Last time I checked, there was 34 total games in 2 seasons. You won 7 of 34.
And we want more of that. I remember when we thought he was going to get cut after the Saquon Barkley thing. And they're like, yeah, we want to maintain the culture. I'm like, a losing culture? They didn't want to change Joe Shane because they didn't want to keep switching GMs. They wanted to give a culture. I'm like, this guy's had a culture of losing horribly.
Forever.
He loses he picks the wrong people in the draft. He consistently gives out terrible free agent contracts. Overpays almost every time. He literally paid the amount of money it would have took to keep Saquon Barkley there. He paid Darius Slate.
Well, if you put it that way, God,
down to a T. Guaranteed money included.
I'm going to say this with great respect. You're just nitpicking now.
I mean, you really can't miss if you want to. There's nothing about Joe Shane you can say and be like, yeah, but at least he's nailed this consistently. Not even his. Let me.
I love this. This is a great comment, though. Worst Joe Shane moment when he's drafting Dart on the camera. He put the whole thing on Brian Dable, gets Brian Dable fired, then takes credit for Jackson Dart.
You gotta love it. He was giving himself a now already. Yep, you did the homework. He checked all the boxes. It's your guy. I'm gonna go out and get him for you.
I wanted Shador.
I wanted Shador too.
He wanted Shador. He wanted to take Shador with 3.
No, I know that, but I'm saying we all wanted Shador. The whole crew wanted Shador, but again, I think me and you both said the same thing. If he would have just took him the second round, I would have lived with that.
Yeah.
But I think when we traded back in the first round, I think we were really forcing it.
Yeah, I think that. Now let's just talk about Jackson Dart for a minute, because of the fact that Jackson Dart looked a lot better today in camp. He's had his struggles in camp, but I keep trying to explain to people, and certain people get it, some people don't. Jackson Dart has an entirely new offensive system. He's got a new offensive coordinator. He's got a new passing coach. He's got a new right guard. He's got a new tight end. He's got new wide receivers. And they're trying to teach him, and the coaches have said this since the day they got hired, we're trying to teach him proper footwork, which is some things that he should have learned under Brian Dable, but Brian Dable was just trying to win games. You combined all this. I would rather have my second-year quarterback look bad early in camp because of everything that is going on than look bad week 1, 2, and 3 of the regular season. Kind of get the hiccups out of the way now, learn what you got to learn. But I've said this before, there is an opportunity that Jackson Dart could take a step back this year a little bit. But I do think that if he takes a step back, there could be more improvement later on in the season because he's actually learning how to be an NFL quarterback.
Yeah, I got no problem with that assessment. Again, he's learning a whole new system. He's a rookie all over again.
Yeah.
This
is rookie season. This is rookie season, B for me. For him.
Yeah, he's technically a rookie all over again. He learns the ins and outs of being the NFL quarterback. As far as the X's and O's on the field, this ain't what I ran last year, and it's totally different than anything I've ever ran. So long as I'm looking at how's he playing in November, how's he playing in December, late October, how's he playing then? Like, are we going to have hiccups? Of course we're going to have hiccups. I think with some quarterbacks' careers who just get it right away, we tend to forget that Peyton Manning's rookie season, he had more interceptions than touchdowns, I believe.
Yes.
And
Josh Allen had more interceptions than touchdowns.
Yeah, and it was looking bad. So we expect so much so quick. I'm not sold that Jackson Dart is a guy, but I'm not sold that he's not the guy either. So let's see what we can get. And I personally like Nagy's system. A lot of people didn't like the Nagy hire. I for one was
love it.
different. I liked for what was there. I definitely liked the Nagy hire. So it's just one of those things. Now it's like we just gotta wait and see. Like we gotta stop being so. I'm a pessimist when it comes to the Giants. It's just how I am. I'm hoping for the best, but I know what's been happening, and I keep seeing it happen again and again. But some of these people, they live on what the Giants are supposed to be on paper, and they think that's gonna automatically be what paper is. That's not how it works. You gotta let the games play. So hopefully I can wear some Giants gear because I said I won't wear any Giants paraphernalia until we have a winning record at some point in the season, or we fire Joe Shane. It looks like Joe Shane isn't going anywhere, unfortunately.
Do you think, like I said, it's going to be tough because of the fact that your early season is Dallas and the Rams. I've already said I think the Giants will win the opener. I don't know why, but I think the Giants are going to take the opener against Dallas. It could just be blind optimism.
We're just due. You think we're due?
We're just due. It's just.
I get it. I get it.
Like I said,
if not now, when?
I have no logic. I have no rhyme or reason. I cannot give you a football reason or a rationale why I'm saying this. 27-17. Giants.
Why not?
But then you go to LA. You go to the Rams. That's and I've said this before, T-Brad. I know people thought I was crazy. You win your first two games for some ungodly unknown reason. Going into the last 2 weeks of the season, which is Dallas and Philadelphia, between this game 3 and those games, if you're one game over 500, one game under 500 in that span, you have 8 wins. You could potentially take one of those, split those last two games, and be a 9-win potential wild card team. Because of the fact that means you would have at least one game over 500 divisionally. And I know it sounds, like I said, again, it sounds nuts, but if you look at the way the schedule breaks down, if you could somehow go 2-0 and then just go in one game under 500 the last 2 weeks of the season, that to me is beyond successful, even if you lose those last 2 games.
I saw this was like an AI thing, and it came on and it was showing each week wins and losses, and they had the Giants finishing 8 and 9, but I think they won 3 out of their last 4 on the schedule. I said, I can live with that.
Yeah.
I looked at that. I said, yeah, I can live with that. Like we don't understand, and I think that's been the Giants' problem for the longest time. We have to rebuild. We've been trying to reload, and we've been reloading terribly with terrible contracts, overpaying people who are past their prime. You name it, Joe Shane found a way to mess it up. But rebuilding doesn't go from being sucky to winning a Super Bowl. You gotta look at Detroit. They're still trying to get there. And it's been a process. And we gotta be expected to make that process.
We're not trusting the process.
Oh, well, no. I said it's a process.
No, so we're not going into Philly and trusting the process.
Let's not jinx ourselves with that phrase.
Listen, I just got to talk about it real quick here with Philadelphia. Yeah, you got yourself LeBron. Yeah, you got Jaylen Brown. You got Joel Embiid. You got Tyrese Maxey. It's still Knicks in 5.
They got Ben Simmons coming back too, allegedly.
Well, you know what? If that's then it's going to be Knicks in 4. You got Ben Simmons coming back. LeBron hasn't played deep. They have a stat where they have effective defensive minutes. And out of the 396 players in the league, LeBron was like 395th in regards to defensive stats in reference to defensive effective minutes, which then they say the stat really proves that he just wants to play offense. Tyrese Maxey cannot play off defense at all. I thought LeBron is bad. Tyrese Maxey's worse. Jaylen Brown is probably sitting there like, what the fuck, man? I finally got out of Boston and I go into this. Who's going to give up unless they decide you have 4 ball dominant players, and unless they decide they're going to play with 3 more balls?
That's what she said.
There is no way this team is going to be more than they win 50 games, sure. But this is going to be, you know what's going to happen. They're going to play Boston in the first series next year. It's going to be preordained. And I swear to God, I think Boston will sweep them in 4.
Nah, that's the type the type of talent they have on that team. You got young and impressionable. You got vet. You got an OG. I'm just trying to see how the bench come together. I really got Philly as the favorites, man. I'm no disrespect to the Knicks.
LeBron has played over 50 games in how many years now? And
but
if you get 40 games, that he's due at 45. He's due to play at least 46 games. And Embiid, if you're lucky to get 40 out of him, I mean, come on.
Now that's Embiid, but LeBron, I don't feel as though LeBron is going to be relied on to win games. Like for the Lakers, and as much people talk shit about LeBron and all that, I was ready for the league Lakers anyway. But the Lakers asked too much of a 40-year-old LeBron. They wanted LeBron to be a 30-year-old LeBron, and he a 40-year-old LeBron.
But Philly's going to do the same thing.
I think it's easy to use him a little bit, but I don't think Philly's going to be in this situation stuck without no. There was times when the Lakers played and there was no offense to be had when LeBron wasn't on the court. There was no offense. AR, I like him, but he can't just put the team on his back like that. He more of a complimentary player, like a Ginobili who could put the team on his back when you looking the other way, and then sometimes go crazy. But with Maxey, the rookie they had, I forget his name, Philly gonna make it interesting, man. Because LeBron ain't gonna have to play that many minutes. Now, if LeBron gonna be out there chasing stats, and he over there burning himself out chasing stats, it's gonna be interesting. But for the Sixers to do anything, and B gotta get his big ass in the blocks. He gotta get his big soft ass paws in the blocks. He got to get in them blocks and start. And he don't got to take Jokic in the blocks. But sometimes I see the people that are covering him. I'm like, yo, you are way bigger than that dude. You should be punishing him down in the post. Spin move. Foul him. Foul him out. Foul him out. Learn how to play that type of ball. Because then when you start going down there and you come back out, it's easy.
You have too many pieces that don't fit. That's the problem. You got too many pieces. You have one ball and too many pieces that don't fit together.
I think what they're going to play is old school basketball. This is how I would play them. Old school basketball. Who's got the mismatch? Because everybody can post somebody down, and Maxey fast enough to get by everybody. So somebody going to play the post. Somebody going to play off ball. Somebody going to slash.
But I have a question though. Who's going to play defense?
Jaylen Brown.
So one out of your 5 stars.
Yo, it's going to be team defense. The question is
going to be team defense. None of them can play defense.
But the question is this: who going to play offense? Who going to give them more offense? So it's going to be interesting to see how it's going to go down. Because if you can't play defense, you can't win. Like, I'm a Lakers fan, and I should be a Sixers fan because Dr. J was my favorite player at the time. But I love the Lakers because of Showtime. But people don't realize Showtime came with defense. That's how the fast breaks got kicked off.
But that's exactly right.
A lot of people give Showtime Lakers the offensive credit, but they forget the defense.
You forget about Michael Cooper. You forget about Kurt Rambis. You forget about Kareem before he got bald and old. It was not going back to Lou Alcindor, was a defensive stalwart. James Worthy could play defense.
Yeah.
He could play defense.
Yep, and that's how I became a Lakers fan. I'm like, man, these jokers just getting the ball, taking it, and going the other way. I like that.
That's how you ran the fast break with Riley.
So I think
the Sixers Joe Ferry's AC Green. I forgot about AC Green.
Oh, AC Green.
I think everyone forgets about AC Green.
Yeah. I tell you what, that show they had on the Showtime Lakers, Winning Time or something like that. Yo, that was a really good show.
Oh, is that the that's the one with Larry Bird and all that?
Larry Bird, Magic Johnson.
Yeah, I didn't see. I actually want to watch that, but I haven't had a chance to see that yet.
That was well done. That was well done.
I saw some of the clips of the guy that played Larry Bird, and that was kind of freaky.
Yeah. The good thing about the actor is he made me hate him the way I hated Larry Bird then.
He hated Larry the Legend. He made you hate him like he was actually Larry the Legend.
Yeah. He did his thing, man. That dude acted, did his thing, but you respected him too. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll never forget when Dr. J punched Larry Bird in his face. I was like, yes. That's how much I hated Larry Bird. But if you're a Laker fan, it's natural to hate him.
It's natural.
I hated everybody on Boston. But when you get older, you just realize you respected him.
Yes, I was gonna say when you get older, you realize there's a mutual respect there for him. So
yeah,
there's a little bit different. All right, I gotta sign off here because Mrs. Online Big Blue just came home and I gotta go talk to her. But
yeah, we gotta find the day drink, man. Just set that up.
Yes, we definitely do. And don't forget Sunday Truckosaurus, Gary Reasons coming back into the box. Gary, we'll start the stream at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Gary Reasons will be on at 10:30. And we know Gary will listen, I got to give Gary Reasons is like Carl Banks. They will stay and they will stay for hours. So
that's cool.
That's why I love Gary, because last time my favorite part of the last Gary Reasons interview is when his wife left him. And she took and all I know is he's looking out the window, go, "Oh, I got another hour. My wife just took the golf cart and left." I was like, I'm like, okay. It's like I got a lot more questions, man. So that's good.
That's right.
Gary's is right. 3-hour-long shows with Gary Reasons. All we need to do is get Sean Salisbury on at the same time. I think we could do a marathon episode.
Hey, I'd have fun with it. I'd ask the dumbest questions you can imagine.
So, well, no, there are no dumb questions.
Just dumb people asking
people. So, all right, Big T. I'm going to let you drop off because I'm going to close out what I got to do advertising wise. So let's talk to you later, my brother. Hope you
take care, brother.
You can say hello to the family for us. Oh, that was, of course, T-Bro was in his house. All right, guys, we're going to end up this show. My body is a temple for booze and barbecue. Yeah, that's about right. So just remember, Gary Reasons tomorrow, Sunday. Show will start at 10. Gary will be on at 10:30. And then we're just going to let it run. We're going to let Gary do his thing. I love having him on because, like I said, he's such a wealth of knowledge, not just about the Giants, but, in reference to, of course, his book. And we will be talking about his book, Reasons to Believe. Don't forget, we're going to talk about the book as well again, probably for a little bit, but we'll catch up on the Giants. We'll catch up on Giant history. We're going to catch up on what the Giants linebacking core is going to look like this year. Do you think we sign another kicker? Well, this rookie is actually like something crazy. He's like 36 of 39 now after he had a rough start. I don't know. It's going to depend on the reliability of what they think they can get out of this kid, but right now he's been kicking well in camp. Let's get him into a couple preseason games, see what he does, kind of go from there. But let's close it out. This is Tim Stewart, Giants Straight Talk, brought to you by the Mighty FanDuel. It's FanDuel.com, number one sportsbook in America. We will see everyone on Sunday, and I'm out of here.
That motherfucker must have lost his goddamn mind.